Hyper-retroreflective active camouflage. It feels like my prosthesis and I are both slowly reaching our limits. But if the Ironheart is within our reach, I have to give it my all, even if it breaks me. The guide said that Ironheart particles are the fundamental clues we need to track it. They're kind of like footprints that the Ironheart leaves behind, wherever it goes. I've compared the location of these footprints to the recon intel. We should find more conclusive data as we continue to follow the traces. I'll send the details of the zone you'll need to cover to your receive. The remaining zones will be covered by Colon operatives.
The Vulgus munitions factory. It truly is an ominous and horrifying place.
Can you feel that?
I can experience a variety of sensations through the archy of Descendants, including the phantom pain you feel.
That's for me to deal with, Guide. Don't poke your nose in where it's not wanted. Once I've dealt with my personal target, then I'll ask you to remove the pain.
You refer to the Vulgus you were pursuing.
Tactical target achieved. Zone with substantial logistical activity discovered. A large volume of construction materials have been relocated from here to a suspect zone. At the same time, secret supplies have been transported from there back to here. This is definitely suspicious. I'll send this info to Sharon.
I've taken over operation of the environmental data collector we've installed. When we retrieve it, we'll be able to check the environmental parameters without coming into contact with contaminated wastewater. Will there be enough data for you to perform an analysis, Guide? You know our equipment can't detect Ironheart traces.
Once I complete analysis of the composition of the wastewater, I should know why I can detect Ironheart particles.
Then we'd better retrieve the data quickly. It will only be available for a limited amount of time.
This wastewater is composed of Kuiper extracts and Vulgus electrolytes. The Ironheart particles are most likely bound between those two substances. That's why they were detected intact and not dispersed.
If we can find the source of that wastewater, we could trace them more accurately. I have a place in mind. HQ. While investigating traces of the Ironheart, we've discovered a zone in the factory area that looks to have been recently expanded. Considering the circumstances, I think it's highly likely that there's an Ironheart inside. Requesting approval for further investigation.
Approval granted, but proceed with extreme caution. A large assault ship has been spotted in the airspace above the area. Based on the ship's class, we think it's the same one that we saw Carell aboard. Either he's there in person, or something worthy of his attention is happening. We should be prepared for a challenging situation. We may need to deploy more Descendants. Over and out.
Sharon, do we have any tactical weapons that are capable of destroying the entire Vulgus industrial area? If the Ironheart is here, we may be able to investigate after destroying the enemy's facilities.
It's an interesting idea, Guide. But if it were possible, we would have already done it. Unfortunately, we don't have the capabilities to create such a powerful weapon. The anti-air gun in the Albion mountain range is probably our heaviest hitter. That's why the Descendants and the Ironheart are humanity's last hope. Closing the dimensional wall to isolate Ingress from the Colossi and the Vulgus. That would be the ultimate tactical weapon. Anyway, we don't have time to chat. Let's head to the restricted zone.
Tactical target achieved. Zone with substantial logistical activity discovered. A large volume of construction materials have been relocated from here to a suspect zone. At the same time, secret supplies have been transported from there back to here. This is definitely suspicious. I'll send this info to Sharon.
Descendant. Our reconnaissance indicates this is a Vulgus weapon processing facility. To analyze the particle flow, we need to take a closer look inside. The Vulgus are disrupting the particle flow. Please eliminate the Descendant. More enemies. I'm detecting signals from multiple Vulgus. This attack is relentless. Where are all their forces coming from?
Strange. We've already destroyed their barracks. There must be another military facility.
Judging by the particle flow, the Ironheart came through here and was moved somewhere else. I'll keep analyzing.
Tactical target achieved. Zone with substantial logistical activity discovered. A large volume of construction materials have been relocated from here to a suspect zone. At the same time, secret supplies have been transported from there back to here. This is definitely suspicious. I'll send this info to Sharon. Tactical target achieved. Zone with substantial logistical activity discovered. A large volume of construction materials have been relocated from here to a suspect zone. At the same time, secret supplies have been transported from there back to here. This is definitely suspicious. I'll send this info to Sharon.
This wastewater is composed of Kuiper extracts and bulbous electrolytes. The Ironheart particles are most likely bound between those two substances. That's why they were detected intact and not dispersed.
If we can find the source of that wastewater, we could trace them more accurately. I have a place in mind.
Descendant. I can detect both Ironheart particles and its pulse in this zone. It keeps moving. If you and Sharon can widen the range of Arche, I can obtain more accurate information. Please help me. Also, my system has been more inconvenienced than I expected. I believe that once it was restored, I would be able to locate the Ironhearts wherever they may be in Ingress. However, it may be that my system has yet to be completely restored. As I was created for the Ironheart, I assumed that my performance would not be this lackluster. In order to achieve my goal, our goal, my performance will need to improve.
Let's think about that later, if we make it out alive. If the Vulgas have a large assault ship, they'll soon be pouring into this place. Number 17 and I will operate in stealth mode. You stay sharp.
Deactivated the nuclear reactor. But right up until it was deactivated, I could detect Ironheart pulses. I'll attempt to trace that location. Descendant, I have found a suitable location for detecting Ironheart pulses. This is a large nuclear reactor, which is connected to this entire zone. By comparing the reactor's pulses with the Vulgus biosignal, I can detect pulses from a wide area.
Stopping their attacks!
Someone has deactivated the nuclear reactor. But right up until it was deactivated, I could detect Ironheart pulses. I'll attempt to trace that location.
bioengineering facility. Remember the wastewater treatment plant where we found Ironheart particles? The wastewater pipes from there connect to this facility. We can figure out when we get back. Look around. Look for a Vulgus terminal to access it.
I've identified multiple Vulgus signals inside the facility. Expect random hostile encounters.
We're too late. All experimental data has been deleted.
Not all of it. There's a cache of records about the most recent experiments. It's not ideal, but I'll try to restore it as best I can.
In the meantime, you and I might as well follow the Ironheart particles. There are Ironheart particles and faint traces of energy everywhere. Judging by these traces, the energy extracted from the Ironheart was injected into the Vulgus submerged in the Kuiper solution. The Vulgus genes in Kuiper must have fused as a result. The pain would have been terrible. Not even Vulgus could have restored it.
That's why there were Ironheart particles in the wastewater. It died. One of the experiment chambers was empty. Did one of them survive?
The chances of something having survived this are close to 0%, but I cannot be sure. Descendant, I have pinpointed the location where all of the Ironheart traces converge. It is hidden within the facility of the Legion of Immortality. I can detect a continuous Ironheart pulse and particles, as well as a small amount of energy from this place. And they seem to be moving. I recommend we investigate this place, Descendant. I'll need you to lend me your strength.
Sharon, I will stay behind and retrieve the cache of Vulgus experiment records. I'm sure they'll contain valuable information.
I'll enter the inner facility first. Join me when you're ready. Most of the main passageways are now either blocked or destroyed. It appears the enemy intends to destroy the entire facility. Air vents, drainage pipes, maintenance ducts. Use any available alternative means of escape that you can.
Sharon, I've restored some of the data from the Vulgus experiment records. According to these records, the facility is right of the bar created General Amon on the Legion of Immortality. As it was Ironheart traces which led us to this place, Corellan Nation was actually needed.
It won't be an easy fight if they are. John, awaiting your transmission.
The traces of the Ironheart detected here. They're... never mind. I will let you know after I've performed further analysis.
Okay, Guide. Synchronize the alarms with the nuclear reactor's self-destruct switch. What the hell are they thinking? They'd rather take everyone and everything with them than give up the Ironheart. I can modify the circuitry. Find the alarm. Alarms disabled. Strange. I'm sure they wouldn't dare do something like that if Corell and Eamon were actually here. For now, we need to stabilize the deactivated reactor, turn on the coolers. I'll continue tracking the Ironheart traces.
All units transmitting critical operation details. From the restored Vulgus experiment records, I've reconstructed an audio recording that seems to have been made during the time of the experiment.
When we come break up from the Ironheart. Rise, black warriors. Give your lives for... After the battle. I will stand in the vanguard of the Legion. House Rogue submits to Lord Corell's command. The Ironheart will initiate the data reversion immediately.
It cannot be. Then these Ironheart traces are...
Alzarogue.
I see you found the experiment records. Seems I wasn't thorough enough with the cleanup. Yes, I am Alzarogue. Lord Corell's vanguard. Born again, thanks to the Ironheart. Lord said you would come. I am to bring him your head. Are you waiting, Descendant?
Damn it! So the Ironheart's already gone, then?
So this is why the traces felt displaced. Descendant, in order to increase the accuracy of our pursuit, we need to access all the data on Vulgus units who were transformed using the Ironheart. You must defeat Alzarok. Sharon, will you relay a detailed report of this to HQ?
Will do. I'll be on my way. Good hunting.
It is over, Descendant. But there is so much information that is hard to accept. This Alzarok is one thing. But Karel has ordered for the Ironheart to be inverted. Whatever that means. Inversion. What could that be?
Karel, do you truly plan on inverting the Ironheart data? If you do that, we won't be able to decipher the unidentified guide code.
Enough! The Ironheart data must be inverted in order to destroy the dimensional wall. I don't have time to think about that! You understand my vision now, don't you?
Oh, of course. I am only thinking of our research.
I'm glad to hear that our objectives are aligned. Initiate the data inversion. Cliff will engulf Increase. The roars of the Vulgus will fill this land with fear!
Descendant, I have the results of the operation from Sharon. Alpha is tied up with an emergency meeting with the Magisters. I have been ordered to brief you on the follow-up operation. Please make your way to HQ.
Do you think that strategic planning is...
Excellent work, Descendant. This operation has yielded many results, both positive and negative. Firstly, all of HQ is encouraged by the possibilities presented by the guide. Although we were unsuccessful in our retrieval of the Ironheart, thanks to the guide's tracking function, we uncovered the Vulgus restricted zone and Alzarok. This proves the guide's tracking system exists and is operational. However, the ingenuity that the Vulgus demonstrated with their use of the Ironheart was alarming. So much so that the Magisters requested an emergency meeting with Alpha. In particular, the inversion of the Ironheart ordered by Corral is something we must understand, no matter the cost. From this point forward, HQ plans to adopt the guide's tracking functionality and the various other information sources they offer as official operational elements. The Descendants will soon be deployed throughout Ingress. Use the guide to track the Ironheart and proceed with the mission to investigate the inversion procedure. Humanity's full-scale counterattack has officially begun. However, I know you have just completed a difficult mission.
Until the official deployment order is given, please go ahead with whatever preparations you need to make. The Magisters have promised their full commitment to support research efforts, so this is the perfect opportunity to request anything you need from Anais. Before you go, Descendant, I have a personal request. Can you retrieve the Alzarog autopsy report from Jeremy? The report was intended for delivery to the Magisters. Jeremy requested a brief look at it, and I haven't heard from him since. I understand things are strained between you and Jeremy due to the recent operation, but I hope you'll do this anyway. Descendant, just in case, I hope you're not disappointed that Jeremy wasn't punished. I actually saw Alpha slap Jeremy earlier. No one enjoys seeing their superior do something like that, but I believe it was a more appropriate punishment than a court-martial. I'm sure that Jeremy has also learned his lesson.
What the? You're still alive? I was just reading the report on Alzarog and thinking, wouldn't it be great if he, killed you? Anyway, looks like he got to experience something interesting at least. A Vulgus redesigned by the Ironheart. Wow. Now, that's an area that fascinates me. If I knew you'd be seeing that, I would have stuck with the operation instead of dropping out. And I wouldn't have been slapped by Alpha. Anyway, why are you here? I'm in a bad enough mood already after Sharon and her minion drop by to give me a piece of their minds? What? Nell wants the report? Ah, so you're her gopher. You really are something. You can take it and buzz off. You probably don't have time to argue with me anyway. Sharon mentioned earlier that the guide isn't in the best shape. All these so-called grown-ups having fun with their imaginary friend. Oh, get lost! You're annoying me!
Descendant, something has altered the properties of the Ironheart I was connected to. As soon as we returned to Albion, I leapt between the arcade of different descendants in order to find Ironheart traces. I discovered traces in the desert and forest areas, and at that moment, I felt great pain. In human terms, it felt like my skin was peeling off and my flesh was melting. Descendant, I suspect this phenomenon is caused by an inversion process. If Corell and Eamon had enough time after moving the Ironheart, they may have managed to perform it. However, aside from this pain, I was unable to obtain any further information. For the properties of the Ironheart to change, a tremendous amount of energy would have to be released.
Void dimension link detected. Colossus approaching. I repeat, void dimension link detected. Colossus approaching.
Descendant, a Colossus has appeared. This Colossus, is it merely coincidence? Can this truly be unrelated to the Ironheart inversion? The ancestors always removed the environmental value of chance from all variables. They believed all things had a cause and an effect. My thoughts are all muddled. It would be best to focus on the Colossus for now, Descendant. As for the inversion, I will investigate.
Classification type, stunning beauty. All descendants in Albion, prepare for an intercept battle.
They're arriving on the daily. And not just any Colossus, but stunning beauty? Somebody buy Alpha a new pen. He's gonna have to write so many letters of condolences today.
Alpha let him off with just a slap in the face. He should have...
Descendant, the Colossi are discerning ingress through an incomprehensible pattern. Although the expected time of arrival for the Colossus is unknown. The fact that a stunning beauty is drawn here alarms me. Stunning beauty is a colossus which is insensitive to energy. Even during the apocalypse, only a few of them are recorded to have appeared in Ingress. But now, suddenly one is making its way to Ingress. This is not a situation to be taken lightly. Descendant, I'll send you to the Void Dimension once you have finished battle preparations. I hope the intercept is successful. Do you need information about the Colossi?
If there's something you need, you'll need to pay. If it's new research, I'm listening. If there's something you need, you'll need to pay.
space-time fabric of the void is extremely illogical. Do you need information about the Colossi?
Magisters are probably humanity's real hope, don't you think? If there's something you need, you'll need to pay. Magisters are probably humanity's real hope, don't you think?
Have you completed preparations? Have you completed preparations? I am analyzing the Void Paradox. Descendant, you have been successful. We live in uncertain times, but thankfully the skills of the Descendants remain stable and unchanged. Even if using the word stable in our current situation is embarrassingly ironic. The dimensional wall is currently in the worst state it has ever been. Before now, it was almost unheard of for an energy-insensitive colossus like Stunning Beauty to be able to find its way here. We must find the Ironheart and connect it to the Prime Hands as soon as possible. Closing the dimensional wall is the only way we can achieve true victory over the Colossi.
I suppose everyone thinks the dimensional wall is the only answer.
Are you saying it isn't?
I cannot say whether it is or not. As we do not have an Ironheart, nothing can be proven.
You think too much. We should find a heart and prove it then. I'm pretty sure there's one in Vespers. Traces from another Ironheart have been discovered in a forest in Vespers. I've already spoken with HQ. Let's discuss operation strategies. Come with me. What's going on? Sorry, I know you probably wanted some rest after taking out that Colossus. Anyway, like I said over comms, we've discovered Ironheart traces in Vespers. I had business to attend to with the Order of Truth, so I was hunting down some Vulgus there. Suddenly, the guide appeared, claiming she felt the pulse of an Ironheart in the area, and then simultaneously in multiple areas. According to the guide, these multiple signals weren't byproducts of the Ironheart like Alzarok was. Comparing it with the data we have now, there really seems to be a difference. Now, well, it's obvious, isn't it? We have no other choice but to check every single location she's detected. When I came back to HQ to report on my operation, they told me to take reinforcements, and I chose you. Jeremy makes me very uncomfortable. But I have no trouble trusting you. So, you in? I'll take your silence as consent. I knew you'd accept, even if you didn't actually say it. We'll head to the Vespers outpost once you're ready. It'll give Dr. Glay time to join us.
Special human child. What do you need?
You're here. I thought you'd be late.
We've got a few things to do. We need to hurry.
Talk to me. We've received operation details. The Ironheart pulse has supposedly been detected in this area, but it's impossible to triangulate since it's dispersed in several directions.
That's correct, Clay. I can feel it clearly, but it's hard for me to pinpoint its exact position. However, I can confirm it is in this zone.
We were deployed here to find one thing, and now we also have to find the Ironheart. We'll have to look under every rock in Vespers.
Freyna and I were sent here to look for a group of Vulgus, who have stolen RK serum from Jaber and some other descendants. Freyna, Sharon, even I've already had my RK serum stolen by them once. Things will only get worse if we let them take any more of it.
Those bastards. They satisfy their own desires by taking everything we humans have. They have to be stopped.
If the Ironheart is underground, then it makes sense that we're detecting the pulse in multiple locations. Not only is 55% of the surface of Vespers composed of slickenside, but this zone has a high distribution of strange-looking rocks. It's also one of the few zones where there are Ancestors' ruins on the surface, and most of the Ancestors' ruins are built out of slickenside. That's why it's difficult to pinpoint the exact point of origin of the pulses. The characteristics of slickenside make it easier for pulses to pass through it, which means there's a higher probability of pulses being detected simultaneously from multiple directions.
When I analyze the strata, there are spaces that feel empty to me. They are most likely where the Ancestors' ruins can be found. All entrances to these spaces emit pulses of similar intensity. However, you will need to confirm in person whether these places are the correct paths to lead us to the Ironheart.
In that case, we'll need to check all the places detected by the guide. There's no way the Vulgus didn't prepare for this.
All right, let's spread out and find the entrance that leads underground. That'll split the enemy's attention, so it's a good tactical approach as well.
Freyna, I understand there are specialized drones that Albion has created to find the Ironheart.
That's correct. Enzo's sending the drones here shortly.
That is excellent news. Let's begin our search for the Ironheart in earnest.
This is Enzo. I have set coordinates for the scan drone. However, Vulgus forces have been spotted in the area. If the drone is damaged, it may make this operation more difficult. We need you to eliminate all enemies within the operation zone. These ones may not pose much of a challenge, but another force is inbound. Prepare yourself.
They have guards stationed at the entrance. Even the Vulgus know that there is an Ironheart here.
Embrace the sacred truth.
Prepare for engagement.
Target spotted. Danger assessment, normal. Defeating this Vulgus will force the enemy to retreat.
Enemy forces within the operation zone have been eliminated. Great job. This is Enzo. I have set coordinates for the scan drone. However, Vulgus forces have been spotted in the area. If the drone is damaged, it may make this operation more difficult. I need you to eliminate all enemies within the operation zone. These ones may not pose much of a challenge, but another force is inbound. Prepare yourself.
Guards stationed at the entrance. Even the Vulgus know that there is an Ironheart here.
High-level enemy has been detected. Prepare for engagement.
Target spotted. Danger assessment, normal. Defeating this Vulgus will force the enemy to retreat.
within the operation zone have been eliminated. Great job.
This is Glay. I've found something. Meet me at the ruins outpost.
Descendant.
Talk to me. This place has been mentioned in records throughout history. And as the name suggests, these are the ruins. Turns out this is where the greatest recorded number of ancestors gathered. Investigation by the excavation team and analysis by the Magisters uncovered records mentioning the breakout of civil war. The ruins are evidence, remnants of this war. We don't yet know why the Civil War happened. Albion collapsed as a result of the war, and this is the only surviving record.
Given the Ironheart is here, that may have been a factor behind the outbreak of any civil war. Past or present, the Ironheart definitely has the capability to turn the fate of Ingress upside down. That hasn't changed. There were bound to be conflicts.
This is the first I've heard of this civil war. Frena's theory is quite interesting. The Ironheart in Ingress. It could be powerful and dangerous enough to turn the fate of everything in existence upside down.
Glay, I know you're a medical doctor. Do you have doctorates in history and geology as well?
I just wanted to be able to explain anything my daughter was curious about. To be the person who could answer any questions she asked.
Sounds like you'll have a lot to talk about once she returns. You must have experienced and learned countless things during the time she's been away.
I have so much to tell her we'll probably stay up all night. Anyway, we should hurry. Guide, can you do an in-depth analysis of the ruins, please? There must be an entrance somewhere.
Enzo here. I've been able to expand my range to the vicinity of the ruins thanks to the data acquired by the drones and the guide. Transmitting surface analysis information and intel on potential entrances to Aceves.
That's not far from my current position. I'll go.
Glay, I'll go. That's where the bastards from the Order of Truth have settled. I'm the only one who can withstand the toxins they use.
I'll leave it to you then.
HQ will continue to monitor the situation. Should anything happen to Freyna, please report immediately. The scan drone has been successfully transferred. If you approach it, it will recognize your receive and activate scanning operations.
Descendant, I was able to connect with the scan drone through your receive. I will analyze the geological data that has been collected and narrow the range of potential entrances.
running now.
Data acquisition at 100%. Connection to the drone has been severed. Reanalyzing the collected data.
Descendant, an interrupter is trying to take... No, it's trying to steal the samples you collected. Destroy the interrupter. There's another interrupter. Protect the samples. Thanks, Descendant. I'll analyze this quickly and share the details with you.
Get to the top of structures and engage them from there. Another wave of enemy forces is inbound. Watch out.
Descendant, they aim to prevent you from reaching the entrance. Exercise caution when engaging them in combat.
All enemy forces have been eliminated. Excellent job. Watch out. Movement on your right flank. Reinforcements spotted. There's too many blind spots. Get to the top of structures and engage them from there. Another wave of enemy forces is inbound. Watch out.
Descendant, they aim to prevent you from reaching the entrance. Exercise caution when engaging them in combat.
All enemy forces have been eliminated. Excellent job.
This is Glay to HQ in Freyna. The enemy has made the entrance discovered at the ruins currently inaccessible. Rhino, what's the situation on your side?
It's not inaccessible, but I'm worried about how the Order's toxins might affect you.
Looking at Freyna's route, I can detect large quick pulses occurring at the place marked as the entrance.
That means there's a high chance this entrance is connected to the Ancestors' ruins. Let's regroup and go together.
Descendant, your timing is perfect. I need you to defend the equipment that has been installed. I've identified a biosignal at the back of the facility that seems to be expanding in real time. It could be a pathogen spread by the Order. Neutralizing pathogens becomes a lot easier if we know what we're dealing with. Protect the equipment until we can analyze it.
Kate, please share the analyzed data with me, too.
Of course. See, I can properly assist you now, Clay. Descendant, it'll be difficult for the equipment to pick up any useful data. Descend with the
operation complete. Kate, don't forget to share the data.
Hey, Descendant. I heard Vulgus electrical equipment is obstructing the search operation. Vulgus generators emit powerful static. That's probably what's getting in the way. There is a solution, of course. I'll tell you when I spot a unit which has a high voltage fuse. Then you just need to blow the circuits using the fuses. Unit with a fuse identified. Take it out. extraction confirmed. Alright, let's keep it rolling.
How has it spread this far? I'm guessing the infection rate at the entrance has increased. The bacteria reproduces at an incredibly fast rate, and it's extremely viscous, so it's almost impossible to get rid of. Target has been eliminated, but we need to look for another entrance. We won't be able to use that one anymore.
You said something? I'm sorry. You're here. It's a good thing I took this side. Neither you nor Glay would have lasted. Let's go find this entrance. Ugh, I thought I crushed the Order. They've just regrouped. They're so horrible and dirty and disgusting. There seems to be no end to them.
Freyna, calm down. Your heart rate is increasing. It could trigger a traumatic episode.
We don't have any sedatives, so if you start having seizures, we'll have to send you back to Albion.
All right, I get it. I'll calm down. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's not enough for me to black out. Hey, Kate? Can you hear me?
Huh? Freyna? Yes, I hear you. What's happening? Anything I can help you with?
I overheard your comms with Glay. You're doing something with the fungus, right? If we collect enough fungi, will you be able to make an antidote or antibody that gives us immunity?
Of course. Although it may take some time, it's not impossible.
Great idea. Kate, if you have any questions during production, get in touch right away. And remember to be methodical. You make mistakes when you're rushing.
Wait, that was over 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was back then.
Our objective is to secure as much fungi as possible. Let's hurry. If we have an antidote or antibodies that give us immunity, the mission will become much easier. bastard's been tapping our communications. If the repeater is destroyed, things are gonna get very difficult for us.
Has been completed. All we need to do now is wait. In order to quickly produce immunity antibodies, we need data on the antidote mechanism stored in Albion. After comparing the data we have with Albion's existing data, we can either imitate it or create something similar. But since we need the data to be transferred safely, we need you to protect it.
Bastard's been tapping our communications. If the repeater is destroyed, things are gonna get very difficult for us.
Transfer has been completed. All we need to do now is wait. Using the material you gathered, I've made an antibody that gives immunity from the Order's most commonly used toxin. But because of time constraints, I haven't been able to conduct any formal clinical trials.
So we're the guinea pigs. This will be an excellent opportunity, Kate. You'll be able to collect data on the side effects of the antibody on the Descendant.
Glay, I don't think we should joke about it.
You sound just like Jin. Adorable. Thank you for your hard work. Don't worry, I know how capable you are.
I heard you worked on my RK neutralizer. I'm sure it'll be effective against the toxin again.
You can trust me. To be honest, I tested it on myself at the clinical trial stage. I'm fine, so as Descendants, you definitely will be.
What did you just say, Kate? That neutralizer was made from the Order's toxin. Do you know how dangerous that was? Do I have to lose you too?
Glay, I'm also part of Albion headquarters. I'm one of many people working for Albion and all of humanity. The Descendants shouldn't be the only ones ready to sacrifice themselves. I'm ready to do my part. Let's help each other.
Lighten up, Glay. Thanks to Kate's efforts, we can continue with the operation.
Glay, this antibody will help you to stay strong for this operation. After all, it will give you immunity, and I've tested it on myself.
Let it go this one time. But never again, you hear me? Okay. Thank you, Kate. Really.
Now that everybody has the antibody, let's go get that Ironheart. We can't let the Vulgus take this one, too.
If everyone is ready, I will lead the way. Let us find the Ironheart.
Guide, can you sense the waves emitted from the Ironheart?
I can. However, my scans show there is a space deep beneath this area. The energy waves are being dispersed by a metal device installed by the enemy. It will be difficult to determine the exact location of the Ironheart.
Damn it! Not only did they spread their toxins everywhere, they installed this as well.
They most likely intended to use it to transport the Ironheart they found.
Analyzing layout of the ruins. RK covers 40% of the entire area. A point of note, the RK corresponds to a single pattern, unlike the patterns of Descendant. According to the layout analysis results, the location of these readings is identical to that used for tombs and altars. If I compile all of the data we have gathered, there is a high probability that this is the tomb of one of the ancestors who died during the Civil War. The fact that they were laid to rest in such a deep location, either they were an ancestor of the highest rated, or they played an important role in the incidents related to the Ironheart. I've identified a Vulgus communications frequency being transmitted nearby. It will likely contain information we need. We should investigate. The Ironheart isn't here. The Vulgus came to excavate the remains of the ancestor. They plan to use this to open the ancestor's grave.
I don't understand. The remains of an ancestor, a vault?
If the vault contains an Ironheart, it may have been placed there intentionally to prevent someone from claiming it. The reason the vault is extracting DNA from the remains is likely because the vault can only be accessed through a bioscan.
If that's the case, then the occupants of the tomb.
That's correct. They must be planning to use the DNA to allow them to bypass the biometric authentication Blame the Ironheart.
This device interferes with the Sieve links. I'll restore the disrupted communications. Noise removal complete. Checking contents. Sender, Enzo. He says the Vulgus have been spotted moving to another zone.
Have they found a way to open the vault already? Damn it! We need to get to that vault.
Wait. We should secure the Ancestors' remains and the data just in case. If the vault can only be accessed through the biometric authentication of specific DNA, then we'll need that DNA as well.
I have disabled the Vulgus data repository for now. I have also collected the data formatted sample of the remains.
Well, that's a relief. I can't stand it when things go according to Vulgus plans. Let's deal with these bastards quickly and get moving.
Oh, how the weak struggle to define their purpose. Humans truly are foolish and arrogant. Have you not yet learned that you are merely sacrificial offerings for us? Consider this an honor. Your flesh and blood will be offered for their glory.
Comms have been stabilized. All units return to Albion to prepare for the next operation.
Now what do you want? Go on, I'm waiting.
Got a question about the operation? We've confirmed the transmitted data. There's a vault where the ancestors kept the Ironheart. We can use this to our advantage. The Vulgus will need time to crack open the vault. Enzo, send the sample of the ancestors' remains received from the guide to Anais and tell her to hurry. We need to analyze the DNA and activate the biometric authentication before the Vulgus do. And to do that, we need to increase our combat forces in the field. I'll send any off-duty descendants. Rendezvous with them at the outpost and proceed with the operation.
Jeez, why am I being called in? I thought I'd be getting some R&R. Making me work with crazies thinking they see a ghost. Nah, I've got other things to do.
Jeremy, there's an Ironheart in this zone. Have you forgotten that finding the Ironheart is the #1 priority for all Descendants? Also, since you've been assigned to a mission, you should conduct yourself properly. Continue to be uncooperative, and I will report you to your superiors.
An Ironheart? Oh, man, why didn't you say so from the start? Get to the point. I only picked up bits and pieces earlier. I didn't realize it was such an emergency. An Ironheart. Right in front of us. The place will be crawling with Corell's minions, but don't worry. I can take this opportunity to show you what an awesome Descendant I am. I'm curious what Guide's reaction will be after I carry this entire operation. Let me know, will ya? Alrighty, shall we get this show started? I'll use my incredible teleportation skills to scout all of the underground spaces.
If the Vulgus are on the verge of opening the vault, then they'll likely report to their superior, Corell.
In which case, we'll need a way to tap into their comms. Guide, check and see if there are any ally devices nearby we can use to wiretap.
There is one ally communications repeater. If I modify the code, it can be altered to enable wiretapping.
That should work. We should spread out and continue with the mission.
You